with the All-Australian team announced last week, we decided to compare the All-Australian team they announced to our team, so jump right into it. Starting with the back line.
We've got Dane Rampy from Sydney, Alex Rance of Richmond, and Jeremy McGovern of West Coast. Fair selection.
Yeah, no, it's fair. They've all three of them have pretty good seasons in their own right.
But we've had sort of slight differences.
Just slight.
My full-back line is Sam Doherty of Carlton, who had a ridiculous year.
Yeah. Unfortunately didn't make the team.
Which is stupid.
Yeah, he had a good year. I thought he did.
Go on Dan Taylor of Adelaide. Obviously.
Not named as a full-back though. But he's in the team. But spoiler alert, if you didn't know.
Again, another great year. He's had probably 2 or 3 really, really good years.
Yeah. Well, since he won the Rising Star.
It's
just been consistent all throughout then.
And then I've got Dane Rampy in the back pocket. Speaks for itself. He's had a sensational year.
Yeah.
He can play tall, small. He can run. He can kick.
He just sets the play so well. He just takes so many set marks every time you go. He just
Ted Richards.
Yeah, he just reads the play so well. Yeah. That's just really somebody of Sydney's backline, really.
Josh Gibson.
Yeah. Well, for mine, I had Heath Shaw back pocket. Well, he's in the team as well, but not in that position. And well, in some ways I did get it right. I got Rance fullback and Rampy on the back pocket, so I'm pretty happy with that. Rance, well, you can't deny his year. He was pretty good in the team that was pretty bad. And Rampy, as we said, just brilliant. So we'll move on to the half-back line. Heath Shaw from GWS, Daniel Talia from the Adelaide Crows, and Corey Enright from Geelong.
That's his 6th. It's his 6th All-Australian, but there was something, is it his 6th since he was 25?
I think it was something like that, yeah.
Which is insane.
That's very, very consistent. So he obviously peaked at that time at 25 and just kept going.
Yeah.
For me, I had Rory Laird, half-back, didn't make it. Just a little bit surprised. I thought probably I
think it's between him and Rampy as the 2 best small half-backs in the competition.
Yeah, so tough choice between that. I had Daniel Talia centre half-back, so got that right. And I had Doherty half-back, and as we mentioned, very unlucky not to make it with his season. But yeah.
So my half-back line is Rory Laird from Adelaide, as we said, very rough. He had another really good year. He was racking up numbers like a midfielder.
Yeah, he was averaging like mid-20s.
Yeah, mid-20s. Yeah. He was towards the end of the year. He was getting sort of mid to high 30s. Now I don't have Dan Talia again, although it was printed that way.
Oh, you saw it as soon as we posted it. We'd had it for probably about a week, I'd say. Daniel Talia twice. He's good. But not that good to have 2 of them in the team.
Yeah. Yeah, it was meant to be Robbie Tarrant.
Very stiff as well, I would say.
He had another good year. Although, would you hear bloody James Brayshaw?
What about
blow
that?
up? Yeah.
It's
like, get rid of Dan Taylor, put Robbie Tarrant in. Not quite. I'd get rid of Alex Rance. I'd get rid of the best player on the worst team. So Robbie Tarrant centre half-back, and then Heath Shaw half-back. So that's 1 for me. Finally.
Oh, actually, no, 2. You had Rampy as well, so.
Yeah, true.
So we go to the centre line. Dan Hanbury from Sydney, Josh Kennedy from Sydney, and Rory Sloane from Adelaide Crows, who was also named vice-captain, which is fair enough, because he actually is a vice-captain.
And he had a brilliant year.
Brilliant year. To compare our team, I did get Dan Hanbury right on the wing. Fair enough. He's had another brilliant season. He's been very consistent throughout the past few years, like Tyler as well. Can't really fault his year. I had Lockie Neal, so the guy with the most possessions just found a way not to get in the team, unfortunately. Yeah, so, mate, because I think I heard from the panel saying that he wasn't effective enough with his disposal. They wanted him to be more damaging. But what can you do in a team like Fremantle that year? He had to be the inside midfielder for them.
He had 750 touches for the year and he wasn't damaged.
That was a record. That's the world record.
I can't get my head around that.
It's hard. And I also had Andrew Gaff from West Coast. I thought
he was
a bit stiff. He had a very good year as well for West Coast. Probably started a bit of that rise in the last few rounds as well. So
the last 6.
Very consistent. So 1 right there.
My centre line's a bit, very different from both Bubbles and the teams. I had Luke Parker in the wing from Sydney. I had Dusty Martin in the middle, who had a ridiculous year. and Stephen Caniglio from GWS.
Didn't make it.
Another one of the five from GWS, four.
Yeah, something
who were picked, and they've all had insane years.
Yeah.
I mean, he can lay claim, but again, it's one of those things where you chop and change.
Yeah. So we move on to the half-forward line. We've got Toby Green from GWS, Lance Franklin from Sydney, and Sirioli from Hawthorn. Yeah, there could be a rant coming very soon. Toby Green, I can understand him being in there. I think he was in like second or third in like goal assists or something like that.
Yeah, he's handy.
And apparently, second half of the season, I think he was ranked second or third in goals. So he turned it on pretty quickly in that one. And Lance Franklin, well, I think he finished second in the Coleman. Actually got. If he kicked a few more goals against Richmond, he could actually won it.
Yeah.
And, well, Sirioli, well...
He's in. Alright.
He's in. Well, I've gone with, Dustin Martin as half-forward. Obviously not there. Lance Franklin. Well, we both got that one, right? And I had Rory Sloane as a half-forward, so... Not in the right positions for a couple of those, but Franklin I got right, so...
My half-forward, I had Lockie Neal. Obviously this year he played mostly as a... in and under midfielder, but he started his career as a half forward, so I can lay claim to getting that half right. I had Lance Franklin. You might as well just you could pick him. Round one realistically.
Yeah.
And then I had Jack Gunston on the half forward line as well. Plays a similar role to Toby Green actually.
Yeah.
But I think he kicks a few more goals. Obviously his lead up's better. He's a taller player as well, so that's why I picked him. But I mean, again, it's one of those things where anyone could have picked him and, still could have been like, fair enough.
Definitely.
So
we go to the forward line. Eddie Betts from Adelaide. Well, you can't deny his season. He was probably the best small forward by a long way, I'd say.
Oh, well, pretty much the only small forward picked.
Yeah. Well, besides Sirioli and Toby Green in that team.
Well, but Toby Green's not really
He's midfielder turned forward.
Yeah.
Josh Kennedy from West Coast, Coleman medalist, 80 goals.
No more than said.
And Tom Lynch from Gold Coast. Well, he kicked...
Another club champion.
Club champions won 2 in a row now. And, well, for a guy who kicked about mid-66 odd goals for a team like that who's always had so many injuries, very impressive. And, well, we can't really go past our team because we've basically picked the same.
We've both got it right.
So we can move on from that.
I mean, you take out the Sirioli and Toby Green because that's a bit of a line ball thing, but that forward line pretty much picked itself from about halfway through the season.
Forward line was, you're right, from pretty much the start. Then we go to the followers, Max Gordon from Melbourne. What an amazing year he had. He just turned it on this season.
I'd be worried if he didn't get picked, to be honest. He's the only ruckman in the 40.
And then Patrick Dangerfield from Geelong, well, let's be honest, he's going to win the Brownlow. Let's be honest here. And then Joel Selwood, who was named captain, had a good year. And I understand why he's captain, because there's no other captains in the team. For us, well, we got Gordon Dangerfield right. I had Luke Parker, who, spoiler alert, is in the team as well. He had a very good year. I believe Luke Parker was probably one of the dominant midfielders of the year. Yeah. His inside work is unbelievable, and he can take a big mark, can kick a couple of goals as well. I think that's the thing about Sydney's team. Then midfielders can kick goals. I think that's what makes them such a damaging team.
Yeah. My ruck line following is pretty similar. I went Maxi Gawn, Patrick Dangerfield, then I had Rory Sloane. Obviously, some chopping and changing of positions, but realistically, we're not too far off, are we?
Yeah, definitely not.
Then we looked at the bench. So the actual squad's bench was Marcus Bontempelli, Matty Boyd, Dusty Martin, and Luke Parker. I went Alex Rance, Josh Kennedy from Sydney, Callum Ward for GWS, and Dan Hanbury of Sydney. Not exactly correct, but
three of them are in the team.
Yeah.
I went Bontempelli. What a year! He won them games. He actually won them games.
Yeah, 2 or 3 games.
You could say he's the reason why they're in finals. You could say that. I had Steve Caniglio, unlucky not to be in the team. But Josh Kennedy from Sydney, well, he's in the team, but not where I picked him. And I had Corey Enright, who I thought was brilliant, but he was half-back. I had him on the bench. So that's our teams.
We're not too far off.
No, it wasn't too bad. So who do you think shouldn't be in that team?
Shouldn't?
Yeah, we'll start with shouldn't be in that team. So there's a few.
I wouldn't have Rance.
You know them?
No, I reckon Robbie Tarrant had a better year. And he was on feasibly a better team.
Well,
not in the last half, but I think he was still on a whole on the better team. I think he made more of I mean, I think it's mostly just because I can't see how Alex Rance is consistently said to be the best defender. I mean, sure, he can play tall and small, but it's got to, at some point it's got to come from the fact that he's playing for Richmond. You know, like. So I don't think I think it should have been Rance out, Robbie Tarrant in. I think. I think honestly, I think Cyril shouldn't have been in there either.
It couldn't have been, but the issue is, I think they don't want midfielders to play as forwards now in the All-Australian team like they did years ago when they put Kieran Jack as a forward who didn't even play as a forward. So it doesn't. I think
that, but then they're just picking small forwards for the sake of it.
Yeah, like I would have like someone like a Dustin Martin play half forward because he can play as a forward, or even like a Rory Sloane at times, or even Luke Parker. He plays as a forward at times.
Yeah, so I would have. It would have just been a case of Rioli out for someone like a Parker or a Martin in that position anyway.
Probably Rioli that time.
I mean, realistically, I would have just swapped Rioli for Martin.
Yeah.
And then just had Rioli on the bench, and that would have been fine.
Yeah. Yeah, Rioli. Boy was a bit of a surprise, but thinking about it, he did have a fantastic
year. On it, yeah.
And Toby Green was probably another surprise, but he was brilliant as well. Like, probably helped them in that second half of the season.
They got it pretty spot on.
Yeah, no, I think they did really well with it. Who do you think the people that should have been in there? I think Lockie Neal. Probably one.
And I honestly think Sam Doherty was stiff.
Yeah, I thought he was too, but we both had him in the team. And Rory Laird was probably another.
Yeah.
But it's very hard to, in that defence, it's pretty difficult.
But so in that case, I would have swapped Boyd out, put Enright to the bench, Laird in, and then I would have had Doherty on the bench as well.
Somehow.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So I think that's pretty much where it's at. I think Neil was stiff. I think Doherty was very stiff. I think probably Tarrant had a very good
year. It was a lot of.
So I think there's probably realistically three guys who were
probably a bit
unlucky. I think it's probably the closest they've got it for years. But
yeah, there's been a few controversial ones over the past years, but this one they've done pretty well. Happy with it. Not going to complain too much about this one. Not too much about it.
Oh well.
So that's it for that.
That's that one.
We've got our season reviews coming up. I think in the next week or so we'll review every club's season. So we'll start with Essendon and we'll work our way up.
Yeah.
There'll be a lot happening there.
Enjoy that.